ナシャタウンで一番のおすすめスポットといえば、もちろんスペランザですね。騙されたと思って食べに行ってみてください。母ちゃんの腕は期待を裏切りませんよ。ルミって可愛いでしょ。でもキラキラしたものを持ってたら飲み込まれちゃうんで気をつけてくださいね。そうなったら戻ってこないかもしれませんから。図鑑を見たいんですか？もちろんいいですよ。私の自信作なんです。挿絵も全部自分で描いたんですよ。ナシャタウンで一番のおすすめスポットといえば、もちろんスペランザですね。騙されたと思って食べに行ってみてください。母ちゃんの腕は期待を裏切りませんよ。 って可愛いでしょ。でもキラキラしたものを持ってたら飲み込まれちゃうんで気をつけてくださいね。そうなったら戻ってこないかもしれませんから。ラシャタウンで一番のおすすめスポットといえば、もちろんスペランザですね。騙されたと思って食べに行ってみてください。母ちゃんの腕は期待を裏切りませんよ。
Okay, I think the last event I have is the combat event. So I think or wait. Oh, maybe I don't have a combat. Or no, is this combat? Oh, okay. Oh, no, yeah, okay, this is combat. Yeah, that was, I was gonna say, like, it didn't seem like combat. Okay, so those things need Geo, so yeah, okay, I was gonna say, like, yeah, it seems like liver crystallized is the way to go. Hello there, how's it going?
片付けましょう。そこ。はっ。雨上がり。ルリが月を映す。やっ。火力支援の準備はできた。ターゲットを教えな。敵陣のど真ん中に落とすんだ。打撃の効果は上々だ。気をつけて。お望み通りに歌え。僕の名のもとに新月が来る。洞察と知恵が律令を生む。火力支援の準備はできた。ターゲットを教えな。価格守りし先行よ。来たれ。片付けましょう。そこ。やっ。洞察と知恵が律令を生む。行け。は 洗い清めましょう。いや、と
What do I need to get? Oh, I only need 30,000? Oh, okay. Is that how much I need for all these? No, 30,000 easy. Easy. I got 80,000. Okay.
手加減なしよ。口封じは任せたからね。風が立つぞ。撃て。火力支援の準備はできた。気をつけろ。火力支援が来るまで持ちこたえるんだ。
Ah, maybe this isn't as good as I thought. So I'm like looking at it, I'm not getting this as quickly as I did before last time, so I think maybe I needed to be Varka then. Oh, okay, so the timer's still going when this is going. It seems like these things die much faster. It's nice that they kind of spawn in a circle around the arena. Okay, so I guess I got a similar number of points. Not exactly the same. Oh, my ground battle rating was very poor. Actually, do I get to see the... Oh, fuck, I can't tell what the ratio was for that one.
準備はできた。ターゲットを教えない。今回のは高火力だぞ。打撃の効果は上々だ。
防衛モード起動。塵となってください。移して
装填。潔白を証明する時だ。
の世界を熱狂の渦に。殲滅モード。満ちて新月が来る。
射撃準備。火力支援の準備はできた。気をつけろ。火力支援が来るまで持ちこたえるんだ。今回のは高火力だぞ。打撃の効果は上々だ。
ロックオン。交渉は終わり。
悪を見極め影を刈り尽くす。
流れて三月よ輝け。
Oh, I didn't do that. It's the worst I've ever done. Interesting. Although my ground battle rating was much better. Last time I think I only got like 3,000 or 6,000. So it's my guided strike. Yeah, I mean, I honestly think the reason why I did so well in that. Was it the first one? I don't know. I did this one. Yeah, this one was actually much easier. Because the slimes were so easy to kill. Freeze team goal.
火力支援の準備はできた。ターゲットを教えない。弾丸を敵陣のど真ん中に落とすんだ。
冷凍の時間。それ光り輝くがいい。食前に甘いものを。目も舌も痛がっちゃうね。どの目が出るかしら。
火力支援の準備はできた。ターゲットを教えない。 アフレよ。
Yeah, so this one had the best score because I had a good battleground rating, as well as, I mean, the guided strike was so easy this one time because they stayed grouped together and they seemed to die much faster than normal. Oh, cool! Let me learn this.
行け。前線誘導はあんたに任せた。祈ろう。読む。真実はまるで影。丸裸にしてやろう。心を覗かせてもらうよ。火力支援の準備はできた。ターゲットを教えな。弾丸を敵陣のど真ん中に落とすんだ。完璧な誘導だった。輝け、リンヤに永遠の安寧を。丸裸にしてやろう。嘘。火力支援の準備はできた。ターゲットを教えな。さあ、謎を解こう。対地攻撃用弾頭に変更。火力を強化。打撃の効果は上々だ。来る、蒼熱よ。永遠な。嘘はいけないね。丸裸にしてやろう。なるほど。心を覗かせてもらうよ。読む。素直に吐くんだね。宗樹の加護、皆のために祈ろう。真実はまるで影。
Okay, that's all. Yeah, that was kind of sucky because like it was hard to get the rune graders. The rune graders, like when they move away, you're just like you just got really unlucky with that shit. Cool, there we go. All done with that. So that's the last minigame event that I did not have here. So now I have the final thing. Got my crown. So now everything is done. All the expo, all the tails, all the quests, and all the rewards from all the minigames. I've done them all. Nice. Okay. So now, let's go do this. Let's teleport directly here. Maybe? Does it teleport me directly? Okay, it does teleport. Cool. I didn't know if it was going to be one where it's like, oh, we're going to teleport. Because they're the ones that teleport you directly there. The other ones that were like, well, we're teleport you to the closest waypoint. But I do like the fact that they do allow you to teleport straight there. Because basically what it does, the reason why that's good is it means no matter where you are in the story, like, you could have just started the game. You could be in Mondstadt, not even in Leeway. But because you can teleport directly to this quest, you can still do it, right? the tough things are when you're just like, oh shit, like when it's like the non-cry event. Like I assume that you can teleport. Actually, I don't know. I don't know if you can teleport directly to there. I would assume you could, because otherwise, again, it's the same thing. Like if you aren't in the current story, like if you haven't done it, if you're just a new player, so you kind of want to make sure that you're accessible to new players. That if you have an event, new players can do it, and so that you can just kind of ignore. You can just kind of ignore requirements and stuff like that, and like exploration progress, and be like, there you go. You can join it, because like these events are one of the enticing things for players. In fact, like this is what kind of drives, like you get a lot of free premium gems, you get a lot of free rewards for it, so it's great for free to play people or just people in general, and they're fun too. Like I enjoy them, right? Even though I'm not much of a combat enthusiast in games, I don't dislike that. That's why like Wuthering Waves didn't really hook me that much. It's like, whereas the combat is better in that game, I just like combat is not a huge driving factor, right, for me. It's not like, oh my god, this game is amazing combat, therefore I must play it. It's like, no, like, I'm looking for a game that has a fun world to explore and an interesting story for me to do. And the problem is that Wuthering Waves just had a problem with those aspects. The only thing they really excelled at was the combat, and everything else they just did poorly. Well, not everything else. Music was fine too. Music was good, but everything else was bad. Right? World building was bad. Story wasn't great. Events in the patch were terrible. Like it was just like God. They were just like the events were more tedious than anything. That's the problem is when you have a game that focuses on that has a focus on combat. Not surprisingly, you're going to get a lot of combat events. And the problem is they're just like tedious. They're like for people who don't particularly like combat. It's like I deal with combat in Genshin, as I have to, but it's also easier, so I don't have to like worry too much. It's like, nah, sure, I can take it easy. Whereas like the combat events in Wuthering Waves require a little more focus, definitely more well-built characters. Actually, yeah, I don't even know if they give you trial characters for their combat events. I think you have to have your own. Although maybe they've changed that. It's also been a year since I played, so. But yeah, it's just a lot of combat events, very repetitive, not much like story-related type shit, right? Where it's like, yeah, sure, like they might have an event like our Trade Expo thing, where they have a slight story, but like generally like the story. Yeah, I don't know, like just there were way too many events that just had way too much grinding. Like the first cube event, where you're these little cubes that help you. It's like not only was you have to do combat, but you had to get these cubes in the shape of other characters that had their abilities to help you in battle. But the battles were fucking tedious, especially at the higher levels. They were really fucking tough in the sense that the enemies were tanky, and that's it. They were just fucking tanky fucking enemies. And so when you wanted to grind out all rewards, you had to do some of the harder fights, and it was just so fucking tedious. And then there was just like movie theater event where it's like, okay, cool, like you're on this little grid-based board, moving your little character around, trying to like uncover the story of this quote-unquote movie. Like you go into this theater and you're like, okay, cool, I'm going to see this movie, and then you have to like go through the story of that movie as you progress your character. And again, lots of combat involved, a lot of combat events within that movie. And it takes a decent amount of time. It takes like 20, 30 minutes to beat for some of the shorter ones. So the longer ones, it takes like 45 minutes to an hour because of the size of it. And then there's multiple endings where it's like, hey, how would you like to do the exact same thing with just 5 lines of dialogue difference? And it's like, no, I don't want to spend 30 minutes doing the exact same thing to get a different ending for the movie by, like, for the first one where I'm doing everything, I'm just like, okay, I'll do everything. I'll do every single event. And it's like, well, for the other ending, if you didn't do these specific events, you get a slightly different ending. It's like, great, awesome. So, like, my 45-minute run for the first time might only take 30 minutes this time because I'm skipping some stuff. But, like, I'm still spending 30 minutes to do pretty much the exact same shit with just a different line of dialogue at the very end because I'm going down a different path. It's like really tedious. And then for some, there were even like three different endings. So again, it's like another one where it's like, yeah, this is going to take 45 minutes to an hour to do one run, and now you need to do three of them. It was just like, Jesus Christ, super tedious, not compelling enough. One run would have been fine if they had each one be just one run, or if they had branching endings, but the branch happened earlier, so there are more differences. Like if it's like, oh, do you go down this? Like if it was really relatively near the beginning, hey, do you go down this path, which then triggers these lines of dialogue, or do you go down this path pretty early, which completely changes things? Like, you know, like maybe one is you siding with good, the other is you siding with evil. So like, you know, where you actually help the villain win in the movie, you know. But it was nothing really super compelling. It was just very slight minor differences for the ending dialogue. And I wouldn't even say cutscene, because it was just like, it was all told like a visual novel. So it was just like, here's some splash art in the background, and here, and we're gonna have some dialogue in the text window, and that's it. So like, it's not like there was basically. And so that's kind of how it is. Like a lot of, and like even for the ones I liked, like they had a fishing event, which was really good. Like the fishing event was really fun, where it was like, okay, you go out and you go fishing and you collect fish and you put them in your bag, but each fish has a shape, and so you have to like maneuver and how to try to get as many fish in your bag before you go back and turn them in and get points for them and all that shit. But then like the amount of grind you need, like if you wanted to complete everything, because it was like, oh, you collect every fish. It's like not even just collect every fish, but it's like, hey, collect every fish, and then collect the biggest and smallest version of that type of fish, and then collect the rare variant of that type of fish. So it's just like you have to constantly fish over and over and over again. Not only just for the rare variant of it, but then also like the biggest possible rare variant and the smallest possible rare variant, like would also be logged. And for every fish had like a rare variant. So it was like, it was just way too tedious. Because you have to go out, you have to fish. It was completely random what fish appear. You just go to a fishing hole. The fishing hole might contain like 3 fish, and then it's just random which one of those appear. And then so, now you don't need to do that for all that stuff, but again, it's just like, it's one of those things where it's like, it's an issue they had for pretty much all their events, where it was like, to do the bare minimum wasn't that hard, but to get everything, the amount, like they just added excessive amounts of grind for it, where it's like you can get 90% of everything with like 25% of the effort, and that remaining 10% of everything requires 75% of the effort. It's just like, and time. And it's just, and then with no real like story reason behind it, like getting all these things don't really help me story wise. It's like, no, I already did the story, so it's like there's no reason to do it other than just to do it, and which is fine to a degree, right? It's fine if you just want to introduce these grinds to the people who like and enjoy that aspect of it, but they just kept adding too many grinds and too many events like that, where it was just like, man, there's just like, it just doesn't feel good and fun to play. Basically, it just felt tedious. Combined with all the other tedious aspects of the game, it was just like I mean, that's why I didn't like exploration in that game too, because it just ended up becoming tedious. You would just be like, you go and explore, and you'd miss a few things because the world was really big, and not everything was super obvious. So it was like Genshin does a pretty good job of it, where it's like, if you're exploring the world, you oftentimes can see the next treasure chest. You know, when you're wandering around, going through the world, you find one treasure chest, and then from that location, you can usually see another one. And so you just move from one treasure chest to the next. You're like, oh, a piece of candy. Ooh, a piece of candy, right? But Wuthering Waves made the map bigger and less rewards on the map, so you never had that, like, trail that you could follow of rewards. It was like, okay, you do this thing, which, I mean, to a degree is a little more enticing, because it's like, you do actually have to look for it and then try to find it. But then it became a moot point, because all the shit you needed, you could also just look up on the map. You could just look it up. You could be like, okay, what's the completion? What are the events that are in this zone? Oh, it's these things. Okay, I'm going to click on one of them and track it. Boom, it tells you exactly where it is, right? So it's like, and because they're not always super easy to find, it just oftentimes you just feel compelled to do that because it's like, sure, like you could wander and explore, but you would still miss a lot, which is not fun, right? Like I think you should be able to find most things. I think you should be able to, just by wandering around, you should be able to see and, get like 90% of the events, or like 90% of the things in the map. You should just be able to find by exploring, right? But Wuthering Waves didn't really have that. It was like, yeah, you could try to explore, but because how big the map is and how sparse how sparse the points of interest were, it was very easy to slip through the gaps between them. Where it's like, oh yeah, there's just so much space, you go straight through, and yeah, like 200 meters to the left is one thing, 200 meters to the right is another, and you just don't even see them at all from being directly in the between them. And then so yeah, the type of events that they were just kind of very repetitive and kind of boring. Some were fun, but it's just like after having to do them many times, you're just like, okay, this is just kind of getting tedious. Like I'm doing it just to do it, just to check another thing off the map. Whereas Genshin never felt that way. Genshin feels fun because you're constantly being rewarded. Even if it's easier to find the chests, it's like, well, that's the thing, you're still finding them. And at the end of the day, if you still want to use the compass to find the rest, you can do so. And that's why I think it's great. It's like yeah, with Genshin, you can find just naturally like 90% of all the stuff on the map, and it feels nice. Because like each thing gives you primo gems and rewards and stuff. Whereas like for Wuthering Waves, a lot of stuff doesn't even give you shit, I don't think. Like I can't remember if catching a music fly gave you actual rewards, or if it's just like, or if the only rewards you got for these things was like the completion reward for the zone. I think the combat one did give you something. Maybe they do give you rewards. Maybe all of them give you some slight rewards. I don't know. It just never really felt great. And exploration felt really tedious, especially like the map. When I stopped is when we fought Cartithia in the Upside Down City. Like, because there were some chests you could only find by rotating the map. So it's like you go in and you have to rotate it as part of to get to the center and to fight the boss. But then afterwards, it was like, oh yeah, now you have to find the remaining chests that you might have missed because like, well, they took you along this guided path for the most part. So now you have to figure out where the rest of them are, and you have the method to look it up, as I said. But like, it's just so hard to do it naturally because some chests you might be in the right location for the chest, but it's on the ceiling and you just don't notice it, and you wouldn't even be able to collect it because it's on the ceiling and you can't grab the ceiling. So you have to then go find a place where you can rotate the world, rotate it, then come back again. It's just like, it just is tedious, right? And so that's why I stopped. Yeah, combat is not as big a draw for me. So I'm like, yeah, I want a compelling story in an interesting world, and Wuthering Waves with a world that's fun to explore in. It's a world that's fun to explore, and Wuthering Waves just doesn't have that. It has some interesting story beats, but they are really bad at world building, and they constantly contradict themselves. So it's really hard to get like invested in the world where you're just like, okay, and you're like theory crafting, oh cool, like look at that cutscene, I wonder what's going to happen next, let me think what's going to happen next. And oftentimes you can't predict what happens next because they don't do any sort of foreshadowing whatsoever, because they have no clue what's going to happen, because they themselves have no clue what's going to happen next. And so you can't ever predict anything because they don't provide you enough clues they aren't consistent enough with the world for you to use the world, the lore of the world to kind of like guess where it's going to happen next. They just constantly introduce new random bullshit. You know, like I saw the Gundam fight where it's just like, how the fuck do you get into a Gundam, right? It's just like, they just keep throwing shit on the wall and see what sticks, which is fine, right? Because like the people who like that kind of game are in it for the combat, and so they don't give a shit what's going on with the world. They're just like, yeah, as long as we get to fight cool bosses in epic areas, that's all that matters. Like, who gives a shit how this is? And you get the kind of people who are just like don't even care about world combat, or I mean the world exploration. Just like, no, I'm just going to do combat. That's it. There's going to be a new there's a new zone. Sure, I'll. They don't even try to explore. They just like look up exactly where every single point is, go to them to immediately get the rewards, and then just focus on the combat aspects, which is like, it's fine, right? That is their audience. There's also a reason why, you know, their earnings pale in comparison to Honkai Star Rail, Genshin, and sometimes even Zenless Zone Zero, is because it's just like, yeah, it's not, despite what everyone says, and say, hey, yeah, this game is really good, and people constantly compare to Genshin. Anytime anything happens, they're like, look how much better we are than Genshin because we do this and this and this. Or Genshin, or at the very least, Genshin doesn't do this. And it's like, sure, right? But you consistently earn 1/4 the amount Genshin does. Like, pretty much every month. There's only just a few months where Genshin has a lull and you have a peak that you can get close. And I think it was only like 1 or 2 months in its entire two-year career where it actually did better the earnings than Genshin. Although it's also hard to tell, right? Because like I think most of the earning reports we have for this shit are like mobile, and I could easily, and we know that Wuthering Waves has a much higher PC audience than mobile. So there is that. That PC purchases are likely not added in because they don't have to report their earnings like that. So games that have more of a mobile audience would have higher revenue because obviously if you're playing on mobile, you're going to purchase on mobile. So there is that. So it's hard to say, right? But yeah, I mean, that was also the interesting thing too, is that I think they looked at the PC audience because recently there was a report saying, oh, hey, Wuthering Waves is the #1 PC gacha game in the sense that I think the highest number of concurrent players. I think they were like, yes, the most people, like of all the gacha games on PC, people play Wuthering Waves the most, and it beat out Genshin, right? Which is like, okay, 100% true. But then if you actually like ask Google, what's the ratio of mobile, like PC to non-PC players on Wuthering Waves, it was like 75% of Wuthering Waves players play on PC, whereas like 25% play Genshin on PC. So it's like, cool, Wuthering Waves barely beat out Genshin, just barely, right? So it's 75% of its player base just barely beat out 25% of Genshin's. So it clearly goes to show that, like, yeah, like, Genshin clearly has like 2/3, or I mean, 3 times the player base of Wuthering Waves. So, yeah, clearly we know which was the more popular game, you know? And it's just because, you know, because the combat is the focus of Wuthering Waves, you want to have, you know, a better control scheme, right? Because on PC, you can do mouse and keyboard if you want, you can do controller if you want, and then PC, you know, presumably has the better performance of mobile compared to mobile. So you can, you know, make sure that you're able to maximize your skills, but it is what it is, you know. Okay. Interesting. So is this the... Oh, wait, what? Oh, I gotta pick only one person? Oh, I see. Oh, okay, I want to pick one. Okay, that's fine. I'll do Navia then. Yeah, because I saw Navia's head appear on all of them. I'm like, can I pick more than one? Because no, it seems like it has to be one. All. Oh, I see. So I have to. So I have to kind of. That's kind of interesting. That you have to. I mean, obviously, this is kind of boring, especially because you can't really move that quickly. But then again, if you could move quickly, this would be kind of over way too quickly. But it's an interesting concept, right? Because the guiding lights are like, hey, cool. Yeah. The guiding lights are like, hey, we're going to force. The guiding lights are going to ensure that you walk down the path you want. It's like. Now, the weird thing, of course, is that, like, why is the camera like that? Wasn't the whole point is that the camera that we had to keep in focus was the thing that was actually shooting her? So wouldn't we be seeing most of the stuff be seeing her from the side? So why is the camera still behind her? So I do find that kind of weird. I thought the whole point was that we were going towards the camera. Whatever. Oh, interesting. Oh, okay. So that's why there were. That's why there were 5 different heads. I know I picked Navia. I'm like, oh, that's kind of interesting. I do like that, actually. Actually, no. Oh, wait a minute. What? Oh, I see. Oh, I see. I have to be a different one each time. Oh. Okay. Interesting. Huh. Uh, oh, I see. I'm just stuck in place. Got it. I see. So this is all like a normal attack one. Yeah. So this is actually. See, what's really cool about this, like, even though this looks like pretty basic, right? This is actually a really good way to farm screenshots. Like, if you wanted a good screenshot, like, obviously you could do this yourself. Like, that's the whole point of the camera. You can be mid animation and then do the camera shot to do it. But this is actually really cool because, like, if you ever really wanted to farm screenshots of your character, it's a really good way to do so. Oh, interesting. Use the same. Huh. Oh, I see. Is that how it's going to be? Oh, wait, did I? No, I was Fontaine. I was Fontaine the first time. I was wondering if maybe it was going to alternate, perhaps. So maybe the next one is going to be... Because, like, yeah, isn't the whole purpose that that's the camera? And the reason why we have to keep... the reason why we have to focus on that camera is because we want to make sure that... You know? I thought the idea would be like, oh, hey... It would be like, that's the camera. Well, actually, I guess it's kind of pointed in the wrong direction. I'll have to double check. So obviously, I picked an angle from Navia's back because that's where it was. I wonder if I can do it from the front this time. I didn't want to just have to do post production again though. So I'm like, I don't really give a shit. I'm just doing it for the rewards. But now that I have, oh, okay, I can't go. Okay, so I can't go in front. I was wondering if I could rotate around so I could actually see it as if she's walking towards me, but it seems like not. Which is kind of weird because it's like, well, why would you tell us to keep the camera in frame as we're picking up the guiding lights? But like, so obviously that means you have to rotate the camera as you're touching the guiding lights. But then it's like, well, why don't you just, you know, like why don't you just Oh, okay, this one is a V's various. Okay, so Catalyst Hydro is travel. Okay. Oh shit, elemental skill. Crap, I can't do... Oh, I see. I see. I get so they give me unlimited skill charges. Got it. I did it there. I have to do it in tune with the thing. Oh shit! I keep messing up the timing. Yeah. That's okay. Yeah, that's an interesting one. Where now you can sprint. Yes. So that's the interesting thing. So you have to hit that one last, which is kind of annoying. Because obviously this is like, okay, well now you have to actually start from here, but then why would you start us near the end, right? Why would you start us near the place where we don't want to be instead of the place we need to be? Especially when you only start once we touch the first guiding light. So it's like, well, if we only start the timer once we hit the first one, then why even bother having us, like, why even bother trying to fake us out by putting us too close to the wrong end, right? Like, I understand the idea where it's like, oh, cool, like, you have to be paying attention. And it feels like that's just a trap, where they're just trying to trap you. Where they'd be like, hey, if you weren't paying attention, you're fucked. You know? Oh, we're not even sprinting in this. Oh, wait, there we go. So they only have a sprint right when we select the last one. I think sprinting right before the jump cut is kind of interesting. Having the sprint be the difference. Yeah, I always thought Fontaine was one of the best regions. Because, like, it's so pretty underwater. Like, I like the mechanics where you can use the animals, like you can get the blades for this one, the bomb for the jellyfish, to do some puzzle underwater. It just was so pretty, right? Like, it was like, the music was just so calm and peaceful. And then all these little, like, it just looks like, the underwater looks so nice. And the overworld was fine, too. Realistically, it's the underwater that was the best. Oh shit, that's not, fuck. That was one of the reasons why I was, like, waiting on this, thinking that by now it should be already. Because I knew that this was running out of time. I have 2 days actually. But it's also kind of annoying because I hadn't even started the quest, so I wasn't able to confirm whether or not. No, actually, as well. I wasn't able to confirm whether or not. I wasn't able to confirm like the times, like when it was going to expire and all that, or when it's going to be fully unlocked. Because I hadn't even done the starting quest, so I couldn't even see the tiers of shit. So it's like, okay, well, whoops. Okay. There we go, all done. Okay, so I don't have any completely new pieces. So realistically, all of these I should have 6 of, because I make 6 of everything, just in case. Hello there, how's it going? Okay, looks like I'm all good on my logs. 500 of each at the very least. Honestly, I'm not sure. I only got him by accident. It's not on my. There it is. Let's see. What do you got? C4. It's Okay, so obviously elemental burst is good because whether you use him as a support or not, as a support or a main damage DPS, his burst damage is a big portion of his damage. So that's good. Uh, Cycle of Enlightenment. I'm sure. Oh, I see. Oh, okay. So basically, it extends the duration. So not only is this burst more powerful, but it also increases the duration, the kind of duration of his burst. So basically, when Durin does his burst, you have 20 instances where he can do follow-up attack damage with that burst. 20 instances. Once you've done those 20 times, the burst is over. However, with this constellation, you have a 30% chance that it's not going to be consumed, which realistically means you have 30% more instances where you can do damage. So that 20 stacks of Cycle of Enlightenment, lasting 20 seconds, actually becomes 26 stacks. So you can do 26 instances of damage on average. Obviously, it's a percentage, so you could still get screwed. You could get lucky, you could get unlucky, but on average, you're going to get an additional 6 instances of damage, where or actually, wait, no. Or maybe you do it regardless. Maybe you have 20 seconds where it always hits. You always do a follow-up attack, but you consume a stack to do bonus damage. So you consume a stack to do 60% extra damage. So maybe it lasts for 20 seconds regardless, but rather than 20 instances of increased damage on that burst, you get 26 instances of increased damage. So, and that's of course, in addition to the fact that you just get a flat out 40% damage bump anyway. So you get a 40% damage increase to his burst, as well as 6 more instances of increased damage for his burst than before. So a stronger burst. I'm not sure. He's a dude, so I never actually looked up his kit. I heard people complaining. I think I heard some slight negative stuff, but for next patch, I'm getting Nicole because Nicole's hotter than Lowen, so I don't particularly care. So I haven't even bothered looking him up. So I'm not really sure. Is he he's a 5-star, right? I mean, if he's a 5-star, he should be okay. It's really tough too because I assume he's also going to be a Hexerai character, which makes it really difficult to tell how good he's going to be because it really depends on his Hexerai buffs. Also, isn't he cryo as well? So the cryo one is kind of a weird one. So yeah, I mean we'll see. Being cryo is kind of. I don't think he's pyro. I think he's cryo. But, oh, I see. Yeah, I mean, I assume he works well with Durin. So from what I understand of Lowen, which is not much, but he's an on-field cryo DPS, which means Durin works well with him because Durin is a Hexerai character. I assume Lowen's going to be one as well because he's from Mondstadt, and pretty much they're trying to increase more people in Mondstadt to have that. So, that's why Varka has it. And I mean, generally, skipping Geo is a safe option because Geo generally is kind of bad. Geo has always been kind of terrible, forever, since forever, really, and only recently with the inclusion of. Well, thanks, more minutes. Only recently, since the inclusion of Lunar Crystallize, did we actually get some good Geo. So only recently did we actually get Lunar Crystallize, and with Lunar Crystallize, Geo actually does some decent damage. So, and like, technically you could argue that Navia is a fine Geo damage dealer, but she also doesn't scale defense like the other Geo ones, so she's kind of her own little unique thing, and gets some advantage from Crystallize, which other characters were not. So please don't. Yeah, this Arlecchino is going to be a piece of shit. This is not a fight. This is a fight where it's really easy to die. And the problem is Arlecchino cannot be healed, so Fiorina cannot help her. So they have to be incredibly skilled, which very few Arlecchinos. Yeah, Zebai. Yeah. Nami is still interesting. Yeah, Navi is still. Oh, do they stay outside? Oh no, it seems like they're all inside now. There we go. Nice. I'm actually very surprised that Arlecchino survived. That is very, very rare. I'm so used to Arlecchinos just sucking ass and dying immediately. But they survived. Very surprising. Yeah, Navi is good. I think Navi's playstyle is a little easier than Zebai's. Because it's just like, yeah, just do basic attacks. And then once you've got some crystallized, do your skill. Whereas Zebai is if you fuck up the skill rotation, like if you do her skill, but then have to swap to another character, you lose your skill, and the cooldown for it is very high. And the idea is that, well, the cooldown's high, but you should be, even though the cooldown is high, like your duration is still normally going on. So it's like, while I might have a 20-second cooldown, the duration of the skill is like 15 seconds. So realistically, by the end of the duration of the skill, you only have to wait 5 seconds. So it's like stuff like that, right? So, but the thing is, you can sometimes where you're like, oh shit, I need to swap to another character to reapply their ability and all that stuff. If you don't have the rotation down pat, it's really easy to fuck up and then not be the right. Okay, so they want to be. I can be a Scuffier. What are they going to swap to? Oh my god! Okay, there. Jesus Christ. Yeah, it's like a freeze team only plays, and you're like, well, Sucrose can give. No. First of all, Sucrose is absolute dog shit in a freeze team. Because increasing Elemental Mastery is so useless in a freeze team. Because Elemental Mastery doesn't increase damage whatsoever. Talmina is fine. Talmina is not terrible. At least she's Hydro, and she's a really good Hydro applicator. Now, obviously, what she really excels at, of course, is what she excels at. What she excels at is using the lunar reactions, but as a Hydro applicator, she's fun, right? Yulayan is all well and good, but she's not the best Hydro. She's not. I mean, she's. Oh, there it is. Here we go. Oh, watch out. Get in.
いい度胸ね。やっちアフリ
Stay on the outside. Oh, fuck. There we go. So Column is not the worst. Obviously, like Gillian's more focused on damage and shit, so it's Gillian's more focused on damage and stuff, so she actually does a little more. In the absence, of course, of attacking her. Yeah, let's get out. I get back in. There you go. So, okay. And we have a good Fiorina, too. We have a good Fiorina. Now, the problem is that... Uh-oh. Oh, did you see that dodge? That was a perfect iframe. Nice. So Colleen isn't the worst. Like, obviously, there's nothing really super about her that gives any bonuses. Like, she's not gonna... But she's not the worst. Like, because, especially if you have a Skirk on the team, Skirk needs as many sources of freeze as possible. So having a Columbina and a Fiorina applying Hydro, and then an Escoffier and a Skirk applying the Cryos, you're going to get a lot of constant freezes, because you're going to get enough Hydro application where you never have to worry about anything, and stuff like that. So it's like, it's not terrible, right? And it's better than like what they initially picked, which was Sucrose, which is like, Sucrose provides like literally no benefits for the team, because she's really good at boosting Elemental Mastery for the team, but Elemental Mastery doesn't matter whatsoever for freeze teams. Like, it doesn't matter, it doesn't increase the duration of freeze, it only increases the damage you do when you shatter, but as a freeze team, we're not shattering. We're trying to keep them frozen forever. And none of us could even shatter if we wanted to. So it's like EM is completely meaningless.
少し散歩してきてもいい？遠くへは行かないから。
ラシャタウンで一番のおすすめスポットといえば、もちろんスペランザですね。騙されたと思って食べに行ってみてください。母ちゃんの腕は期待を裏切りませんよ。
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, why aren't you going? Although it was actually kind of weird because I wasn't able to actually select my character for a while, so it might be some sort of lag. You have no fucking health! Why the fuck are you running up? Yeah, you fucking idiot! You have no fucking health. Why are you the... Of all of us, you had the least amount of health. Oh, nice. That was a really good run we did before the other phase dropped. Nice. It's some nice deeps. Yeah, see, like, this is why... So, like, so for some people who watch me, they might see me, like, rage out sometimes against some of these... when I'm playing some of these co-op ones. And they're like, well, why do you do co-op if there's so many issues with co-op, right? And the issues with co-op are just stupid people, right? People choosing... Like that person who tried to use sucrose first, they swapped to sucrose before then swapping to Elan. Like, that was fine because they realized, oh, shit, I shouldn't be sucrose, I should swap. Right? And they swapped to Elan. That was fine. But, like, that could have been bad if they just insisted on being sucrose still. Right? If they were just like, no, I want to be sucrose. And it's like, dude, sucrose is a really bad pick for this. Like, we need freeze, not that. I mean, you could argue, well, she does have the resistance shred aspect of Veritas and Venera, which is nice, but the problem is that with Escoffier on the team, you picking sucrose removes Escoffier's maximum buff of having a pure hydro-cryo thing, which actually is the same amount of resistance shred that you would provide as with Veritas and Venera. So basically, by picking sucrose, you're basically making up for the buff that we lose because you pick sucrose. And that's it. And you provide no other value for the team. You were just, like, literally having you not there. You're like, having you just be any hydro character. A level 1 Barbara would still have, we would still do the same amount of damage, you know? So, anyway. But that's going to be it for today. I'll be on later. We'll see how, like, I'm not sure what I'm going to play. I'm thinking, oh, actually, no, I know what I'm going to play. I'm going to play Final Fantasy XIV because I have to. I need 100 more tomes for the week, and today is the last day of the week. So I'll be in Final Fantasy. I'll do the expert roulette. I'll do the leveling roulette, and then I really got to get myself back in frontline. I don't know why I cannot seem to get myself to do frontline. I think the problem is normally I do frontline first. Normally I do frontline first to kind of get it out of the way, and then I continue with everything. It's really hard. I find it hard to get motivated to do frontline roulette after doing other roulettes. For some reason, I don't know why. But anyway, I'll be back on later to play that. So thank you all for watching, and I will see you all next time.